So we are back recording. We'll be talking a little bit about interviewing, and then once again, I'm going to be typing these ideas up for you guys, and they are under the modules. If you go to our ethnography preview, these interviewing question ideas are going to be there if you want to refer to them. But at its most basic, interviewing is just sitting down, asking questions with someone with a specific purpose in mind. And your guys' purpose in this case will be to get information about this person's culture. And if you do this in person, that's fine. If you do this on Zoom, that's fine. If you do this through email or survey, also totally fine, as long as you are collecting the information yourself. So some super basic thing. So if your interview is in person, you need to be cognizant, you need to be aware of the environment. So what kind of environment are you guys sitting down in? What's the noise level like? What else is going on around you? You have to coordinate timing. So can you guys both meet up at 3 p.m. in the library, or at 9 a.m. at Starbucks, or insert wherever here at whatever time? But one of the advantages to that is you have a lot of adaptability. You can sit down with someone and change your questions up as you go based on how they're responding in real time. So if someone says something and you're like, oh, I want to investigate that avenue, you have the chance to do so. If it's on Zoom or video, like over Facebook Messenger or something, you still have to be aware of the environment. So are there dogs barking? Are there kids screaming? You know, what does your background look like if it's distracting? Timing is a little bit less of an issue to an extent because you don't have to worry about travel time or if you have to go meet them somewhere. But then you might have to worry about time zones depending on where they are. So that could kind of sometimes be a struggle to juggle a bit. You can still be adaptable in that because it's still live, real time. So you can adjust questions as needed, but there's always the possibility of technology issues getting in the way, or if you're trying to record it, maybe the recording kind of like doesn't go right, or that people cut out. But it's also handy because then you're probably recording it already, and you can always go back and refer to that and type out word for word what they say if you need to, or go back and reference what they said in case you didn't take very good notes while you were sitting down with someone. And then of course you have the option of an email or a survey. You don't have to worry about environment with that one. People can take it at their leisure, you know, wherever they are. They can do it on their phone, they can do it at their computer, what have you. There's not a time issue, you know, you're not sitting down there, you don't have to meet anyone. But the thing is, it's not adaptable. You have a lot less freedom, and you have to be really careful about how you word your questions. So a really easy way to do surveys or something like that is to go on Google Forms. So I'm going to go, actually, no, I'll just do it on this one. Please do not email me at that email. So this is what Google Forms look like. You guys all have access to it through your Monster Mail. You can do a blank form and you can title it, whatever. So you could say culture survey, and then you could say, okay, well, we're doing, you know, Czech Republic culture survey. And you can come up with whatever questions you want. You can do multiple choice. Most of you will, if you do it this way, you will probably have mostly short answer or paragraph. Because you can say, you know, what is your favorite, oh my gosh, what spelling is that? Favorite traditional Czech dish. So what's your favorite traditional food, basically? And then they can type out whatever they want here. You know, hold on. Oh, I didn't bring my list in of like interviewing questions. So if I want to ask a question about language, so do you think Czech is difficult to learn? Why or why not? And if you notice this kind of like auto switched over to different types of questions, you can let it do that, but you can also just go to the drop down and like change it as well. So what else? Music. You know, who is the most famous Czech musical artist or composer? Who is your favorite Czech musician? Blah, 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 blah. But you can also do it that way. If you don't have time to like sit down with people face to face or through Zoom, you can do a survey or like an email interview. And this is just a really easy way to do it, because I can say, okay, settings. If you do it on Monster Mail, you have to unrestrict it to Monster Mail users, but then I can send this URL and email that out, or I can post it on my Facebook and say, hey, if any of you guys are from the Czech Republic, please take this survey for me and send it to your friends in the Czech Republic. So let's get some question ideas tossed around. So if you are going to be asking someone about food in their culture, what kind of questions would we ask? So we already showed on that survey, you know, what is your favorite traditional food? You know, what does your average daily diet look like? Because you know, if you think of the average daily American diet, it's very different from the average diet in South Korea. Or school lunches, that's a really interesting one. So, what did you eat at school? Because if you look up American versus Japanese school lunch, I think this is the website that I was. So average USA lunch, I'm pretty sure I've eaten this exact same thing before, but compare it to like Brazil, compared to Italy. You know, Finland, South Korea, Greece, wherever else. But that could be a question that you could ask. What did you eat at school? What did your school lunch look like? You know, what is the most popular dish from wherever? Do people elsewhere in the world like it as well? And you don't have to use these are just some ideas. But what are some of your guys' ideas for these? And hopefully the chat actually pulls up this time. There we go. There's the chat. And now the chat's gone. So no questions, no thoughts about what kind of questions you might ask somebody?
What they like to do for fun.
So what do you do for fun? So that might be under, let's make an other category.
What about, are there foods that would offend you?
Oh, that's a good one. Because if someone is from India, they don't eat beef typically. Because in the Hindu religion, you don't eat beef. Like the thought of eating beef is pretty offensive. So that's a good one, Gary. Thank you.
And the cowboys from Texas wouldn't want to eat horses.
Yeah, and cowboys probably wouldn't want to eat horse. Like most of us Americans, we're not going to eat cats or dogs. or guinea pigs, because those are pets, but in Peru, they eat guinea pigs. There's definitely places in China that eat cats and dogs.
Could we ask them what their favorite food is from another culture?
Yeah, because that could be interesting. So
Like if they're German and they're like, I really love Chinese food.
the Germans really love their kebabs. Like I feel like that's like a stereotype of Germans, but Germans like kebabs. But that could tell you something about their culture. If they have a lot of immigrants from China, then Chinese food might be really popular in Germany or whatever. What kind of music do you play at a party?
I always want to know what their favorite American artist is. If they're from a country other than America.
It's like, please ignore my terrible spelling, guys. Oh my gosh, not even autocorrect can like get it. Muse-ish, I-A-N.
What music do they play when they're sad? Like, what's their, like, in their feels music?
For food, we could ask if, because it's super common to eat out here, we could ask them if they eat out a lot.
How often do you eat out? That's a good one.
Ooh, what about what time do they eat? Because we were just talking about that the other day.
Nice. So
Another one, do they sit at a table or on the ground? Because I know some places sit on the floor.
what kind of utensils do you use? So do they use fork and spoon, knife, chopsticks, fingers? Do they pick stuff up with bread rather than their, hands or forks?
What is their favorite snack?
That you can, there's a lot of interesting snacks out there in the world, so that
Mhm.
could be a fun one because someone's gonna say like, oh, I like fried squid as a snack, and it's like, or fried squid chips or something like that.
Do you have a specific worship day?
Worship day. And what was your thought, Caleb? So specific worship day, language. What's a wedding like? That's a good one. Would that let's put that under like traditions. So because you can say like for weddings, like what color of dress does the bride wear? Does she wear white? Does she wear black? Does she wear red, yellow, orange, purple? Does the groom wear something different? Do you guys have different wedding traditions? Do you jump the broom? Do you break a glass? Do you get married in a specific building? Or do you just go to the courthouse?
What's your culture's main holiday?
And I think you guys actually, I can set this so that you guys can edit it as long as you promise to only add things and not erase stuff.
Are there any provisions under medical?
Wait, was that like a question you wanted me to write down, or was that like a question to me?
No, yeah, no, something to write down, like if there's any provisions when it comes to medical care.
Or do they get free insurance?
So you mean like things they can or cannot do?
Yes.
Yeah, because like if you're I think if you're like a Jehovah's Witness, you're not supposed to get a blood transfusion. So, because I could. It can't get a heart transplant as Jehovah's Witness, so I mean, I guess you'll just die then.
Maybe for personal space, what they would consider like to be like too close for comfort.
It's basically like what is an appropriate distance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's just where you shake hands or kiss them on the cheek, or how do you greet friends? I don't know if I've seen that.
That might go under. We're gonna put that one under like social norms. So.
What is a physical gesture that they may find offensive? Because I know in play, like I'm pretty sure in Greece, like you can't give a thumbs up, and like they consider that to be like super offensive.
Sweet. Well, we got a lot of good ones. Actually, what I should do is I should put this into a discussion so that you guys can feel free to add to this. So, question ideas. I am not going to make it graded, but you are totally allowed to add whatever you want in here. So just comment down below with it or like reply to it. And say education, here's some questions under that or whatever, and then I'll go and add it onto the actual like page under that. So but yeah, really great start to that, guys. Thank you. Also, just as a reminder or as a heads up, I have put our plan for week 5 and 6 up, so you guys can go ahead and look at what the discussion questions are going to be for next week and kind of what's coming up. So any questions, comments, or concerns? Oh, Alexis, that's a really good one. Sorry, I need to go in and add that. I just saw that pop up. Oh, where was I? Pages. Where's the interviewing question? Oh, there we go. Specific ways to show respect to authority. Awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And if there's anything else you guys need, like I said, this is now in the discussion, so you can feel free to add to it, and then I will go in and add that in. But if not, then you guys are free to have a wonderful weekend.